keep it real with ya.
Hey everybody, it's me Minu, back with another video. Um I don't even feel like making a video. I know I've said that before, but I'm just being real. I'm just being honest. If you see me looking this way, I'm trying to see if I can catch my neighbor's cat wandering around, because my neighbors are white people and they can't ever keep their cats in the house. Sorry to stereotype, but like every white person I know that owns cats has had situations where their cats have ran out of the door, or they let their cats outside thinking that the cat's going to come back and it don't. Actually found out a while back that somebody who I know has had 3 cats and wants to get a 4th cat because all 3 cats have ran away and died by like getting hit by a car or something. And I'm just like, I don't understand how y'all can't keep these cats in the house. Like, and I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, and I'm not trying to be super judgy, because like honestly, if my cats were missing, I'd be super upset too. And I'm keeping an eye out. I'm looking around. I drove around a little bit to see if I could see them or spot the cat, and I haven't yet. If I do see the cat outside, I will immediately go to get them. I like got their name and everything. But yeah, it's just be cats just be leaving, and it's like, don't get me wrong, it's not like my cats have never tried to go out the door. There was one time, I think it's because they heard my neighbor's cat, that they wanted to like go outside and see what was going on, but I immediately was like, get your ass back in that house. And Sadie was like, yeah, and then she went back in the house, and I was like, what the only cat that's like been outside is like Sadie, and I used to let her out on the balcony because I was just like, she wants to be out on the balcony and chill, whatever. But every time I let her out, I was like, you cannot go out on this balcony without this collar. And the collar has like her name and my name and my phone number. And then there was even a point where I was like, I'm going to put a bell on it too, just in case. Like, just in case, in the event that she jumps off the balcony to chase after some other cat that she sees, I'll find her more easily. But but she's not like a door dashing cat, and neither is Morticia. Like, they both hide when I open the door. They're like, who's that? But even if they were, and I had situations where they gotten out before, which I think that my neighbors have also had this, because I've seen them put cat food out before, I would just go ahead and invest in one of them GPS collars so you can find them. But that's enough of me talking about white people. These past 2 weeks have been like really crappy, and I usually make these videos before I talk to my therapist on the weekends, due to inner child and everything like that. But I actually talked to her yesterday, so I don't really feel that much better, honestly. Like, I'm being honest, like, and I've talked about this, I have 2 therapists. My trauma therapist tends to make me feel a lot better after seeing her, and I think it's just her attitude. She just her attitude makes me feel a lot better. But my other therapist that I saw yesterday, she's kind and she's soft. It's just, it don't be getting through to me, like my brain be like, I don't give a fuck what she said, you're trash, you know what I mean? Why does my hair look like this? I literally had to have a conversation with my hairstylist, and I was just like, listen, if you need to put bobby pins in my hair to make the style work, we need a new style. We can't do this no more, because I don't know what's happening up there. But anyway, yeah, she's just very, very soft person, my regular therapist, and my trauma therapist is just much more opinionated and aggressive. So yeah, I just been having these feelings this past couple weeks of like being a failure as an adult, because it seems like every time some shit happens, it just like, especially when you're somebody with me who's had a lot of trauma and all that stuff, you just feel like you're just fucking up all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you have all of these bills, all these debt. You got the car note, you got the medical debt, you got them student loans, which I don't know what's gonna happen with them, because a bitch ain't got it. But it's like that. It's like, I got the Mint app that's supposed to help me budget, but they keep reminding me of how my net worth is negative so many tens of thousands of dollars because I have all this debt that I ain't paid off. And I'm just like, bitch, what you want me to do? It's student loans. I went to college. What you want? But like, yeah, so I've been dealing with that. I've been dealing with issues of like getting all these high ass hospital bills that don't make sense. Like, I literally got a bill. It was like $9,000 in the mail, and they were like, yeah, we did the plastic surgery and we gave you 428 injections. And I was like, no, the fuck you didn't. No, you did not. You did not do any of that. Where did I get the plastic surgery at, on my ass? Like, I didn't. Why are you charging me for plastic surgery? I don't understand. So I was like fighting with them constantly over the past few weeks, and they just did not give a fuck. They was not trying to be helpful. And then I finally called my insurance carrier to tell them like these charges are false. And the guy even on the phone was like, had an attitude with me like, well, yeah, we rejected some of these claims, but the ones that we didn't reject, you know, you're gonna have to pay that, right? You still gotta pay that. You still gotta pay that. Like, kept telling me over and over again that I gotta pay that. Nigga, I know I gotta pay. But what I'm saying is, all the shit they sent to you is wrong, and they need to send you one that is correct. And he was like, well, give me the number for billing. I don't have it. I don't have a billing person. They don't give you a billing person. These hospitals be playing. So I was like, I give you their voicemail number, but that's it. And so he was like, well, I left a voicemail telling them to resubmit the claim. Okay, but like, who was it that fucked up in the first place? Because any person looking at that was like, there's no way this woman had all of this. And if I did, I'm suing because y'all niggas almost killed me. But dealing with that, dealing with a new pharmacy trying to get my medication. Didn't nobody want to tell me the truth. They was lying out their ass. And it wasn't until this older woman, she's the nurse manager at my PCP's office, called them that they started acting right. Older black woman. And I was like, damn, do I sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? That y'all are content to lie to me and rush me off the phone, but then this older lady, I guess she's in her 50s or 60s, calls in and you're like, oh yes ma'am, we'll fix it for you. And I'm just like, why? I'm an adult, you know, like I should be able to handle these things. Like, y'all should be able to listen to me, and people aren't listening to me. Then I've been struggling with that. I've been struggling with finance of like, you know, all these payment plans for the different medical debt, because bitch don't got the money to just bulk pay off her medical debt. And I know I'm gonna get some more medical debt this year anyway, so there's really no point. But I don't want any of it to go to collections again, because I worked really hard to build up my credit score. And then it's like, I'm making so much more money in a new job, but also a good chunk of my paycheck is being taken out from taxes, health insurance, and then the health savings account to give me money that I use to pay for my medical expenses, which even the amount that's taken out ain't enough to pay for my medical expenses. I'm behind on bills with this medical stuff, and I'm on payment plans, and it's just not even enough. But I'm like, but like they're literally like, we can't take any more money out of your paycheck. We can't. So you have to work with what you have, and that's frustrating. And on top of that, you know, I've been doing my workouts. I don't know if you guys notice in these videos, I don't even be looking at the old videos because I'm like, a bitch is fat. And I'm like, I'd be doing all these workouts and like trying to like not focus on my weight. But then you have those moments, especially if you grew up with a family or a mother who focused a lot about your weight and how you were fat and you just need to stop eating because they don't understand what health means. And so instead of being like, eat more vegetables, they'd be like, just don't eat and stuff like that. So like, you still struggle with that even though you don't talk to these people anymore. So I've had that pop up because of all these negative thoughts that I'm having. So then it pops up, oh, you're fat, you don't deserve to eat. You know what I mean? Like, that shit has popped up and I'm like, damn, I ain't even had them thoughts in a minute. That's frustrating as fuck. And then my cats have been acting a damn fool. And it's like, Morticia was just getting to a point where she was starting to act right. Like, she was starting to obey. She was starting to, like, when I call her, she was coming to me. When I tell her to come out the kitchen, she would come to me without me having to get her. Like, she was starting to listen to me. And then Sadie decided that she no longer wanted to act right. And she wanted to be the one who's sneaking into the kitchen, who's eating all of my bread, again with the fucking bread, because I put locks on all the bottom cabinets. So now Sadie is like, well, hey Morticia, I know how to get into the top cabinets, and then we can eat all the tortilla chips and wheat bread that we want. And so I had that issue where I caught them multiple times in my top cabinets, which pissed me the fuck off. Like, they were in timeout for hours over that, because I was like, you know how expensive it is to buy like whole grain wheat bread? That's not some shit that you just want to feed to your cats. That ain't cat food, motherfucker. That costs money, okay? And I was just so pissed about that. And I was like, I spent extra money to try and pay off a bill this month. And after spending that extra money, my dresser collapsed. Like, the bottom two shelves just said, fuck it. And everything fell out. So now my clothes are just on the floor in my closet, and I don't have the money to actually buy a brand new dresser because I spent extra money trying to pay off a medical bill earlier in the month. So I'm just like, this is some bullshit. It's just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. On top of that, I've been in a lot of pain. I'm finally better physically now. I've been in a lot of pain from stress from my job. Stress causes you to have anxiety, which causes you to have pain in your body. So in your upper back, your lower back, for me, it tightens up all my muscles. So, and once my muscles tighten, and I've said this in the Proctalgia Fugex video, once they tighten, getting them to untighten is like convincing someone with anxiety to stop having anxiety. It don't work. It takes like weeks, at least a minimum of a week of daily relaxation, meditation, positive self-talk, Epsom salt, lavender baths, drinking CBD infused drinks, whatever the fuck it is that helps you calm down. It takes a very long time to calm down. And because my pain is connected to my mental, the fact that my mental hadn't calmed down meant the physical wasn't going to calm down. So everything was just all out of whack. And on top of all of this, I still got to be a fucking functional adult at work. Like, I still have to be in meetings and make decisions and create reports and, do all of my regular job as an adult. Like, this shit is fucking stressful. So I got to a point where I like started to slip into depression a bit, where, I didn't want to leave the house, which I already have social anxiety, but depression don't make no better. Didn't want to leave the house. I just wanted to sleep all the time. I was exhausted. Didn't matter how much I was sleeping. I was exhausted. Didn't really have much motivation. Was just constantly like hating myself about everything. Did not even have the energy to talk to my friends. Did not even have energy to text people. And it was also stressful. And I was like, damn, I really need a vacation. And my coworker and my manager were like, take one. You got unlimited vacation. Take one. And I was like, got to find someone to watch my cats. Because even if I did do the thing where I had the automatic feeder go off 3 times a day, you really don't want to leave your cats without any human interaction for longer than 2 days, because they'll freak the fuck out and they will destroy your house. Now, for my cats, they'll destroy the house anyway. But if someone's there, at least they can put the shit back together. So I don't come home and find out that there's catnip all over the house and my TV's been knocked over. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody who I was talking to wasn't really willing to do it. And then so I tried to reach out to some women that I met through my women's group. Some of them have cats, and they just didn't seem. They was like, I don't want to drive to your house, but ask somebody else. And I was like, and then too, like when you have social anxiety, you don't want to only reach out to someone to ask them for something. You got to reach out and pretend that you're interested in what's going on in their life, and like spend like 2 days trying to figure out, when is the right time to bring up that you need help. So you're just sitting there letting them talk about all their other stuff, so it feels like you're interested. But really, and don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't have the fucking energy to carry on conversations. And now I have to carry on a conversation because I don't want you to think that I'm using you if I ask you for help and we ain't spoken a few days. You know what I mean? So went through all of that with her just for her to tell me no. I was struggling with that. I was struggling with negative thoughts of like feeling like, I failed. I am somebody who's really quick to blame myself about everything. So I was really quick to be like, You know, it's my fault that I went to these trash doctors who charged me thousands of dollars for shit that they didn't even fix. It's my fault that I got this procedure that wasn't going to actually help me. It's my fault that I, you know, went to the hospital. Like, all of that stuff, like, I'm so quick to blame myself. And I was telling my therapist, and she was like, you had no way of knowing that going to the hospital wasn't going to help you. You had no way of knowing that getting this procedure wasn't going to help you. You were trying to find relief. You were trying to figure out what was going on with you. And it's just so happened that they couldn't help you. And so she was trying to tell me to give myself grace and, you know, trying to remind me of the good things of, like, you know, you're not living with your parents anymore. You're not living with either of your parents anymore. You're not talking to your family anymore. You're financially independent. You got a good credit score. You know, you are making enough money to pay your bills. You know, the medical stuff, people got medical debt. It's just a reality of being an American. And, you know, you can pay them, you know, the $25 a month until it's paid off. But it's just a fact of life. And she was like, you know, I understand being an adult sucks. It sucks sometimes. Sometimes it feels like every time it's like something's always breaking. You know, you're always spending money on something. Things are always going wrong. And it literally is just part of being an adult. And I get that. But I want to get that in here. I can get that up here. My brain knows a lot of stuff. But that part of me, that inner child or whoever it is that's like behind the brain, that's not thinking all logically and everything like that, that's the person who I need to convince that I'm not a failure at life. You know what I mean? Because it's like there are people my age who are doing so much better than me. And some of the people my age who are doing better than me had a worse start than me. You know what I mean? And they are doing better. And I know I shouldn't compare myself to other people, but honestly, I be comparing myself to the version of me that I always wished I could be. And that version of me includes somebody who's not in pain, who's not on a bunch of medication, who is able to go on trips and spend time with their friends and, you know, get a chosen family and make enough money to where she can put money into savings or invest or pay off all her debt or whatever like that. Like, I'm comparing myself to the person that I want to be, the best possible version of me. And I'm not there. And I've been chasing that person for years and I'm not there, whether it's with therapy, whether it's with weight loss, you know, whether it's with having a healthy relationship to food, like all of this stuff. I'm just like, I'm not there. How the fuck long is it going to take me to get there? Like every time I eat something, I stop and I'm just like, well, in the moment, I'm like, this is delicious. But after I eat it, I'm just like, you should have just had a smoothie. You know what I mean? Like you get mad at yourself and it's like, I don't like feeling like that. And I've said in other videos, like, I want to like me. I want to like me as I am and accept myself, but I just can't. Because there's a version of me that I want to be and I'm not living up to it. So until I live up to it, until I reach that version of me that I feel like I should be or that I want to be, I'm going to feel like I'm failing. But failure is like a really, really harsh term to use. It's really extreme because I'm technically not failing. And my therapist reminded me that, and I have to remind myself of this too. And I know a lot of people my age also feel like this, but I'm technically not failing. I'm just not, I'm like in a middle point, you know. It's like, I'm not making F's. I'm making C pluses and B minuses, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff where like, if you compare me to other people my age, they're not in my situation. Like they have more student loan debt because they went back to school hoping to get a better degree. You know, they have less money in the bank because they're in school, so they can't work, or they have a job, but it pays shit and it's not going to pay anymore. You know, they live with their parents and they don't like it and it's awful because they don't have the money and the job they have isn't paying enough for them to live on their own. Credit score is shit. Way more debt than I do medical wise. You know, car is shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing way better than most other people my age, even knowing that consciously it doesn't feel like it, because I'm not doing what I want. I'm not where I want to be, you know. And I was telling this to my friend, because like when I talk to my boomer friend about me struggling with stuff or like worrying about money, she always says the same thing. Just get another job. Just get another job. You didn't get another job. You didn't. You went and found a job that paid you $20,000 more. You didn't get 2 jobs. But she always is like, just get another job. I don't want another job. I want one job that make me enough money, and I want to take vacations, and I want to travel internationally, and if I can, I want to buy a house somewhere in rural Japan and spend like a month out of the year at the least out there just living life in the, you know. And that's kind of where I'm trying to be. Like, I'm not trying to be somebody who's like constantly worried about all the people that I owe. Like, it's like you make more money, but now I have more debt, and it's just like, what the fuck. And yeah, I just wanted to get that out, because I feel like when I was telling my therapist, the regular therapist, not the trauma therapist, well, she's trained in trauma too, but we don't do trauma work. When I be telling her stuff like this, she'd be like, okay, pause, let's restructure our thoughts about that. Okay, pause, what did your inner child say when you said this? Like, she's trying to get the work, but also I just felt like I really needed to vent about how I felt, and then also get some kind of like, I don't know. Some of these therapists just got magic. Like, they're just really good at saying what you need to hear in the moment. And I don't feel like I got what I needed to hear in that moment. I felt like they were like, well, let's work on the things that we said we were going to work on today. But when I see my trauma therapist on Monday, she says what we're going to do is we're going to start working on healing some attachment injuries. And for those of you who don't understand what that means, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's basically like if you're someone who had any type of difficult relationship with your parents, you have attachment injuries. Your needs were not being met by the person who you loved and trusted the most as a child, which led to you not being able to fully trust other people or feel safe with other people, because you're just scared that you're going to be abandoned or mistreated or, you know, used or whatever. So you either become the person who's super clingy and wants everyone to be your best friend the second you meet, or you're the person who's like, I know we've been dating for 3 years, but you really want to say we're a boyfriend, girlfriend? Like, I don't know about all of that. And so like those are kind of like ways that manifest. And especially if you had any type of trauma, you're going to have some attachment injuries. Somebody somewhere didn't protect you, and now you have trauma, and now you have trust issues, and you have issues with safety. So my trauma therapist and I are going to work on trying to create a secure attachment where I feel like it is okay to be vulnerable. And it's not just vulnerable in the sense of like you can tell people anything, because I tell all my business, but feeling like you can really trust yourself with that person, which is different than just I want to die, ha, like how people do. Nah, it's like really being like, man, what happened to me was fucked up, and I'm really scared that Johnny is gonna leave me because of all the stuff. Like, you have to get real personal, and it's gonna be real awkward. But she's hoping that with doing this, I can learn to open myself up more to allow in the feelings of like joy and contentment and safety, and, you know, liking myself more and being able to like form these good relationships and secure attachments with people. But that's what we're hoping we can do. I just wanted to vent about all this stuff because I felt really bad, and I feel like, you know, I'm 25, I'm about to be 26, and it's just like I just thought that I'd be in a much better situation than I am. I'm in a good situation, and I'm in a better situation than a lot of other people. But I guess when you grow up with the type of parents that I grew up with, you just never feel like any of it is good enough. And so you just keep going and going, chasing that feeling that you may never actually get, because you can't heal trauma with money. So that's all I want to talk about today. I'm gonna let you guys go, as we say in the South, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. But But I appreciate the comments from people. I appreciate some of you, like, you know, watch the TikToks and like commented on there, and who are commenting on the post and like giving me encouragement and being kind. That really makes me happy. Even if it's a stranger, it's like it really, really helps to just share positive energy with people, even virtually. So I really appreciate that from you guys. And I just hope you can continue to, you know, give that to me as I try to give it to you. And share how you've been feeling in comments. You know, give me a breakdown. Are you surviving? Are you thriving? Like, what's going on in your life? And I just want us to have this space to just kind of talk about like how we're feeling about everything. And hopefully we can comfort each other enough to make it through this next week, and just, you know, take it day by day and just treat ourselves kindly and give ourselves grace. And hopefully, you know, it'll work. I don't know. I'm just trying my best every day, just doing best I can. And I hope you guys are doing the same. But until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.